In the red over here at the upper right, our Terran player showing a pretty solid and aggressive Terran versus Zerg style. Virus. No joke, this kid is sick. Now, at the bottom left, we have our Zerg player, one of the greatest Warcraft 3 players of all time. And I believe he actually, off prize winnings, has made more money than any pro gamer in history. That doesn't count like contracts, sponsorships, yada, yada, yada.
I think Virus is actually new to GSL, so I tried to see what kind of playing style he normally goes for, but since he's new, it was pretty hard to find his replays. You do see that he's a really aggressive Terran player, and I mean in Zerg versus Terran, you have to keep the pressure up and try to contain each other. What Moon earlier needed was to get more banelings, and I guess he made a bad decision going for the Terran's base and killing a lot of his Mutalisks to the turrets. That was a little bit bad, but maybe in this map we'll see him do something different.
Yeah, it could be. This is a much bigger map, so you know, I think Moon's gonna have more freedom. Even though Shakuras is already a huge map, this map is massive.
Yeah, it has 16 bases. He decided to go for his immediate natural, which I think we talked about this on Monday. It has only 6 mineral patches and 1 gas, compared to the normal 8 mineral patches and 2 gases. So, the other day we saw the Zerg actually went straight for the riskier one, but this time he takes the safe one, so we see how that works out for him.
Yeah, frankly, I think it's going to be a much cleaner game coming from Moon, since Terran's not really going to have the opportunity to punish him that much. We can see Terran going to go ahead and get a fast command center. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
That's what Tasteless would do.
That's what Tasteless.
I haven't done this build, but I would call it a Tasteless build.
Well, he's going to bring one Marine out to scout and spots the drone. Hopefully the drone doesn't get taken down, doesn't even get to scout, and he's going to go back to his base, set drone. His spawning pool is up, so I think we'll still see banelings for this round. That's pretty much his playing style.
I would go for banelings on this map. Mutas, I think, are a definite must. Although, you know what, now I think about it, on this map, I guess you wouldn't have to go Mutas as much. You're not going to get cornered as easily. The map is pretty wide open.
I think currently the spawning position is okay for Moon because the Terran is really far away. It's actually directly opposite him and not adjacent to him. So he has more chance to react. As you know, Zerg is reactionary.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Yeah, it's good. I guess this position spawning is kind of better for him, but he has to take note of how much the Terran is actually expanding. So he has to try to stay one up of the Terran. At the moment, it's not going to be possible, but we hope that I hope that he does the timing attack.
I would like to see that, frankly. I think at this point in time, we're going to have to sort of sit tight and wait and see where the Terran's going to, tech to, because Terran, this is why a lot of people have complained about Terran, is that one of Terran's abilities right now with the unit compositions they can get, they can do all sorts of different stuff. In the mid-game, they can tech to all sorts of different things, and that means that Zerg has to be ready. Zerg has to scout properly, Zerg has to react correctly, and, if you don't do that in the right way, if you guess that they're not going to have Hellions in their army, and they do, you guess they're going to have you don't see a Thor coming, stuff like that, they can really mess you up. I would not be surprised if this is a game where we see them each get up to 5 or more bases. The games we've seen on maps like this have made for some very, very long games.
One of the few ways a Zerg player can actually scout a Terran space is to float his Overlord in, but because of how big the bases are in this map, floating your Overlord in, plus in this position where it's so far, for you to move your Overlord over and move your Overlord in, by the time you want to reach the center of his base, your Overlord will be taken down by Marines already, so Moon really, really has to find a way to scout this.
It's funny because a lot of Zerg players who are watching would say, well, what about the Overseer? Can he fly that in? Well, the Overseer isn't fast. It's actually not a fast unit. It can actually be killed very easily.
It's faster, but not fast enough for Marines.
It's not fast enough, yeah.
I mean, when 4 Marines or 5 Marines are running after you, you're a set Overseer. Yeah,
you're in trouble. And of course, there's only so many angles you can come in to on a map like this. So, it's a tricky situation for Zerg. You got to do a little bit of guessing games. You want to look for tells and stuff like that. Oh, is he getting, do I see No Marines? Well, that's a bit strange. Maybe he's meching.
Moon definitely knows that the Terran has fast expanded because he didn't bring any Marines out, wasn't aggressive. So Moon took the chance and drone up a lot, which you can see both his bases are almost fully saturated now, and takes a third hatch at the moment. So that was a good reaction for him. Well, do you think that for him at this point of time, we did talk about Mutalisk earlier. How soon do you think he should get his Mutalisk? Should he try to go for a Baneling timing attack first, or should he go only after he has Mutalisk?
If I were him, I would be doing exactly what he's doing now, getting the third base, maybe get a Mutalisk, or get Spire right before the fourth base. You can get away with getting more bases here. The one thing about Banelings is they're better on maps where you know Terran's going to attack you right away, because you can offend and defend. But when the map is big and open like this, you can do other things with, like besides Banelings, like counterattack with just Lings and Mutas. So, by the way, Terran is going to move out now. Looks like he's salvaging a bunker. So let's see. I said this is an open map. It is. There are a lot of little back doors you can go through. The big question is Terran going to be safe moving out through here?
Splits his Marine up a bit in case he gets caught off guard by the Banelings. You do see that Moon has taken all the gases on all of his 3 bases, so he's definitely going for a heavy Baneling and Muta army. He spots that the Terran army is pushing.
Terran moving out now.
Here he comes.
Alright, he's gonna go for the destructible. Oh, actually, this structure doesn't have a name. It's question mark, question mark, question mark. I guess
on our screen.
I guess the Riddler lives there.
The wall.
So this destructible debris is gonna be taken out. And Moon got some Banelings, just finishes.
Oh.
He's gonna be careful.
I think he's gonna wait for his speed to be up.
Oh, he's gonna flank it from behind.
Here he comes.
Speed just now finishes. Very nice by Moon.
Gets on Marine.
Not bad at all. Definitely did enough damage there.
Definitely. I mean, only 1 siege tank is left and a couple of Marines. The Terran player is gonna reinforce right now and put down a supply, orbital command. He's gonna put down another CC, which is good because when you push, you make the Zerg player be more defensive, which means the Zerg probably wouldn't counterattack for a while, and then you put out another expansion at the same time after you push. So that's a good reaction from him. He does have enough to defend against any small push that Moon is going for, but you do see the amount of Mutalisks that are coming up. We're gonna see some harassment coming from Moon really soon. I like how he split his Marines. Look at that. He's always safe. He's like, I'm gonna split my Marines first.
Yeah, he's got a nice spread there. I like that. That's good. He's one thing I want to point out is when you do a push like that on a map like this, you can't reinforce it as easily, so you're really committing when you're moving out. That's why you don't normally see a push like that from the Terran. In a case like this. Zerg's got the Mutas coming up here. It's Moon's turn to try to do some damage. He's got to regroup.
Sees a turret though. Doesn't want to sacrifice too much of his Mutas. Also spots the expansion that the Terran player has put up.
Now,
more Mutalisk are on the way. You know what could be this? Just a super big ball of Mutalisk.
Yeah, if you actually get a pretty sick Mutaball,
200 pop Muta.
You know, I had this joke with Artosis about the nightmare of the Mutaball, because imagine, in StarCraft 1 you can put a Overlord in a group with the Mutas and they actually clump together. Just thinking, what if you could actually have, at 90 Mutas just packed together in one ball, with an Overlord selected in there, so it's so stuck together. If you saw it at distance, just be this one giant Muta flying at you. That'd be the terrifying Mutaball.
I don't think I want to see that.
You don't want to see? Well, I want to see it. I want to cast it. I want to be there when it happens. Zerg's basically doing a good job. Zerg is taking the map. It's a big map.
Which is good for Zerg because you really want a macro. Here comes a semi-drop from the Terran player. Drops a couple of his Marine. Might be able to deny this expansion. Some Mutalisks are going to try though.
He's going for it. He needs to just target fire the hatchery. It does not.
Oh, cancels it. Cleans the Marina.
Nice. Very nice. Expansion may be delayed for, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds. 30 seconds. We'll compromise. We'll say 25 seconds.
25 seconds.
25 seconds.
He's going to run on 5 bases soon. I mean, if he can efficiently control at least half of the map at the moment, he's going to be ahead. he's gonna be ahead of the Terran for a while because the Terran is gonna run on 3 bases, and if he can saturate all these 5 bases, he can go for a 2-prong attack, like go with his whole army and reproduce really quickly and go second time. The Terran is gonna try to push out now though.
Looks like Terran is indeed pushing out, as we can see on the minimap. Zerg counterattacks. No, he doesn't. Zerg tricked Taste into thinking he was going to counterattack. The Terran's in the middle of the map. Remember, you can't make mistakes when you do this too many times.
Yeah.
You're really far away from your opponent. Banelings, Zerglings. Moving out now.
You see, he needs to move the overlords away. Nuclear supply box. Uses 3 overlords over there to couple of marines. Mutalists are not really really well.
Really nice. They're coming up here, taking up the siege tanks.
Oh, from behind.
He forces him to back up. And now the Banelings are going to try to regroup here. And, you know, I think Terran might be in a sandwich right now.
Well, if he can actually make the Terran move his marines in front, and he can catch a siege tank from behind, that's going to be enough. Mutalists are trying to bait the marines away from the siege tanks. So we'll see how that works out in a bit. He's actually gonna get dropped on his overlord now. Gets +2 for his Mutalist almost up, so I guess he's waiting for that.
Yeah, I think honestly, Moon is in a really good position. But it all depends. I mean, if he for instance, all these siege tanks hit these Banelings in the center, it's gonna be bad. Here comes the battle now. He takes out the medevac. The army's retreating, and Moon does exactly the right thing, drives him back. Now he turns around. And the Terran actually has the siege tanks unprotected. That Zerglings run in. The Marines come back, but they're going to be pushed up against the wall.
Oh.
Beautiful cleanup.
Gonna lose his marine ball over there. Needs to steam and run away. Gonna catch him soon.
Yeah, he's chased him all the way back home. And looks like now Zerg is going to be boss on the map. The map is all Zergs.
That was good.
That was really good.
He did a 2-prong baiting attack, and you do see your baiting bombs.
You got your hidden Baneling bomb trap.
Let's hope he managed to detonate correctly this time.
I would hope he does not somehow manage to have what we saw. I believe it was, what was that in season? I think it was season 2 or 3.
He's getting infested now, so we will see what he's gonna do with it. You do see the Terran player has a 4th base up, getting a couple of bunkers up front because he knows Moon has a lot of Banelings. Really wants to defend his base. Moon is actually running on 6 bases now.
Yeah, Moon is actually so much bigger than the Terran. You really don't need more bases than this, to be totally honest. As Zerg, I mean, you want to occupy them because you can produce so much, but at this point in time, you could just switch right into some serious teching. Zerg's almost maxed out right now, and Terran is not that far behind, but the big issue is Zerg can just replenish this over and over and over and over and over. And over and over and over and over and over.
Do you think he's getting roaches to counter the siege tanks? Because you do see a roach run going up.
I think what happens is, for those of you guys, a lot of people don't know this actually. I don't worry. Oh my god! Oh my god.
Oh my god. He makes up for his missed Baneling.
I was going to say, yeah, he's pretty much been forgiven. I was going to say, your question about the roach run is actually a really good one. When Zerg goes into a battle, you can actually, obviously you have all your hatcheries hotkeyed. You just grab all the hatcheries, select the larva, and then hold down R. You don't even have to spam on R. You can actually hold it down, and that'll actually just fill up all the eggs during the battle with roaches. And roaches are a pretty versatile unit. They're good against most everything. Terran is generally not going to replenish his army with marauders right away. He's going. Zerg wants to force a siege. Siege mode.
Oh!
Very nice. He comes in here with the Banelings. Yuda's, oh my god, I think Zerg is most definitely going to win this game. At the rate that this is going. Takes out the siege tanks, taking out medevacs.
He cleans the whole army up right there.
Yeah, and now Terran has no presence on the map. I mean, most of the action is going on the sort of plateau in the center. Man.
Well, that's what you really want. Because the Terran army is going to be more efficient with the siege tanks and everything. So as a Zerg player, what you really, really want to do is to catch the siege tanks on siege and out of position.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only point where you can attack.
Yeah, you're absolutely 100% correct. When they're in transitioning from siege mode to the mobile mode, the standard siege tank mode, Marines are peeking down here now. And, okay, it's just going to be pretty much clean house here. Terran needs to change up his game plan, and he's not going to do that. He's going to GG it. Virus, you have been cured. Moon is your winner for that game, but it's not done yet, Kelly.
We're going to the ace match.
Going to the ace match, going to the rubber match. What a game. So we really saw Moon do a really good job, I think, there. He was great at sort of controlling the map. Terran had one moment when he pushed early, which I was kind of like, I don't know.
It was
if
like
that's
half,
a good idea.
half and half.
Well, it would have worked on a map that was smaller, like Zelnaga Caverns. I'd be like, all right.
He couldn't reinforce in time.
Yeah, there was this big opening in the map, and he just got surrounded. The Baneling bomb, or not Baneling bomb, Baneling
You're thinking
trap,
about the epic
Baneling
Baneling
landmine, the Baneling landmine, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was
He
beautiful.
caught half the Marine army, I think.
Yeah.
And then he just like, okay, this is the time. I'm gonna move in with my Mutalist right now and clean it up.
He did, and it was pretty good. It seems to me like Virus has less experience on these new maps. That's okay, Virus. We don't judge you. We still like you. But it's just not going to be enough. Our next map, though, is Zelnaga Caverns.
We might see 2Rex again from the Terran player.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty good map to Rex on, I think.
Pretty common map for Terran to go early aggression against a Zerg player. That's the only way you can kind of prevent the early hatch from coming up.
Yeah. Well, you know, the other thing to keep in mind is that the area is so open at the expansion, too. Zerg's got to be careful for pushes like that. There's actually a lot of stuff Terran can do. Zerg sort of has to be the defender for most of the game. Terran, if they get the gold base, they can put a planetary fortress there. And that's just very difficult because it turns out those things don't die. You can't kill them. I just found this out.
Fact.
I found this out laddering last night.
Fact.
If you have SCVs by him, it's just very difficult. So Zerg generally wants to try to deny the Terran the third base while taking Zerg takes the his own third base in the back in the blue minerals. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. We're going to get this going pretty soon. As you can see,
Moon is cracking his neck, getting ready.
Got to get that neck cracked. Guys, might want to crack your neck too right now. Feels really good. I prefer to actually crack. Oh, that feels so good. Just crack my back. And Virus went to the bathroom.
Okay. So for Zelnaga, Tasteless has told you guys about it many times before. Planetary Fortress just cuts the map into half for the Terran. It's impossible to cross that line, as he has said.
Well, yeah, exactly. No, I mean, yeah, you can't. The center of the map, Zerg has to sort of dance around it, and that's really annoying. And, of course, if the Zerg takes the gold base, well, then Zerg all of a sudden is so close to that planetary.
Yeah.
If there's, I mean, normally if they both have the gold base, it's going to go to something like Broodlords, for instance. That's really scary because of that center Zelnaga cavern. It's one of the caverns on the map. It is a location where you can put the Broodlords over there and try to engage them that way, but it's tougher for Zerg to hold the gold base than for Terran. But it's still a great map. I think it's actually one of the best maps.
Well, the Kodas games were really good yesterday, yeah?
Yeah, they were so good. I mean, not for Artosis, he was dying, but for as far as the quality of the
His
games
face
goes,
was like, oh no.
I know what's funny is he was
sick.
he was all perfectly fine at the start, and then during the last game, he was just so pale, and he's going like this. Our game is actually loading. I wouldn't lie to you guys. You guys got to trust me. And
Tasteless.
you got to trust me. Kelly could see the game's actually even started. Am I lying?
No, you're not.
No? You could have said I
You're right.
was, and people would have believed you. All right, so we are going to start this now, so get ready for some more Code 8.